Hi, this is Mary Michon from Bensell Greenhouse in Toledo, Ohio. In today's video, we're talking about soil. The reason why we're talking about soil today is because in the past, most of our plant issues, or when people called in and talked about their plants not doing well, it was usually a watering issue, either overwatering or underwatering. And in the last couple years, we've found now that it's mainly because of soil. So it's not necessarily that people are watering incorrectly, but what they're putting their plants in once they purchase them is it's not doing well for their plants. And so I want to talk to you about soil and kind of keep it on the simple side, because it shouldn't be so difficult. It should be a very simple solution for you. So if you need good soil, obviously, and you live in the Toledo area, come into our greenhouse and we'll set you up with the proper soil for all of your indoor houseplants. But if you're not in this area and you're looking for a good quality soil after you've purchased a lot of different houseplants, there are some places that you can go. If your box stores or your large grocery type stores are the only place that you know of that have soil, try to stay inside the store buying soil that is being stored properly. Don't go outside, get the palletized soils that could have holes in them. They might already have weeds popping out of the sides of the bags. They'll be full of bacteria and funguses. That's where bugs and gnats can get crawling in there, and you won't want those as well. So think about that. This is our 8-quart bag of Pro Mix that we sell here at the greenhouse. It weighs approximately 5 pounds. I've weighed a couple other 8-quart bags of soils, and they are about 5 pounds, except for this one bag here, which is Miracle Grow's Nature's Care. It's an organic potting mix, and this one weighed pretty much well under 4 pounds. And it's not an exact science, but if you are in a store and you're trying to figure out whether or not this might be a soil for you, if you pick it up and it's so heavy you can barely get it up, don't buy that. And if it's so lightweight, you understand then that it's full of peat, and it's probably got too much peat for what your houseplants will require. So that's kind of a good gauge to get in when you're inside looking at smaller bags of soil. Check the weight first. The components of the Pro Mix and any other good soil are going to be peat, pine bark or bark, perlite or vermiculite. That's what's in our Pro Mix. It's as simple as that. 3 very basic ingredients, very simple ingredients in the proper ratio. So this is easily wetted, it drains quickly, it holds moisture for a certain amount of time, and then you start all over again. When you're looking at a soil that isn't good for indoor houseplants, it's got too much peat in it. This happens to have peat moss, it happens to have coir, and it has a little bit of perlite in it. It is heavy in peat. Peat is very acidic, and it's water hating, it's hydrophobic. I have all these different soils all lined up, and a quick test that you can do at your house to make sure that your soil is of good quality for your houseplants is just putting it into a container that has drainage on the end. These are all little nursery pots with little holes on the bottom. And what you're looking for is, I'm going to add some water and I'm going to go in a circle and watch it grab a hold and come on, and it will start to drain down. It's just very lightly dripping now at the bottom. I'm going to start with this one first. This is an organic soil, but when I water this, it pools to the top. It sets at the top, and that's just telling me that there's too much peat that's just saying, get out of here. I hate water, and it's just sitting there. It's doing nothing. So this would be a no to me. This next one, kind of floating on the top, kind of not draining through. That one is getting better. And then there's this one, where it's still pooling on the top and nothing is draining through on these guys yet too. So I'd be real cautious about that. And again, peat, like I said, is the most component, is what you have the most in for your soils. Peat is very acidic, and that's usually when you have certain houseplants that cannot handle the acidity of so much peat in their pots. So you want to be cautious about that, and that's where you're going to start seeing houseplant diseases and damages. And then another tip that I want to tell people is, if you are buying plants from all over the place, if you're getting them online, if you're getting them at box stores, if you're getting them at greenhouses, switch all your plants over to the same soil. You'll have better luck You understand the way that that soil works, how it wets, how it dries, how it absorbs fertilizer, and just use all the same types of soil for all your plants. Then you know the drying capabilities of them. If you are worried about overwatering, and that really should only be, I just tell people, just pay attention to your watering. If you are an overwaterer, just stop it. Tone it back a little bit. But if you have cactuses and succulents and you're very concerned about those being overwatered, the one component that I found that works really well is just plain old grit. And you can find these at feed stores wherever they sell food for chickens. And this is what chickens put. They put this in their diet to help their digestion. It's hard little stones, and it breaks up a good quality soil very, very nicely, so it drains faster than normal. The last thing I want to talk about is if you are actually making your own soil at home and you're taking different components. That's another option if it's hard for you to find a good quality soil somewhere around your home. Again, keep it simple. I'm really not a fan of core products. I find that is a hard wettable. It's hard to wet, it's hard to manage. So I don't like that to be the majority of your soil if you are making it. If you can find a good peat moss, sphagnum peat moss is the most ideal, and core should be way down there. So you need to do ratios of sphagnum peat moss, ground up bark, and perlite if you can, and very limited amounts of core, because it's just not the right mix for your house plants. I know people have been successful with it. That's great, and it's a very inexpensive way of adding or making your soil up. But just be cautious on how you use that. So hopefully this has helped everybody. Just send questions if you have any questions. Come into the store if you're local. We'd love to see you. We'd love to talk to you more about soil. And thanks for watching.